Hi, this is Peter Godinez, your ambassador with KDYTV.com. Good morning, Oxnard. We're going to introduce you to a potential candidate, and his name is Jeffrey Burum, and he's going to be running for U.S. Congress, CA 26, where Julia Bromley is right now the incumbent.
That's right.
So thank you for being a part of our program here.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I'm excited. I'm from Oxnard, so it's wonderful to meet and greet and talk to everybody. I try to get out, and I really appreciate the opportunity.
Now, you had me when you said that you're from Oxnard, and which is perfect saying, you know, would love to find out some of your background. Were you born and raised? Can you, once upon a time, and how did this story begin?
Sure. Once upon a time, I was born in Bakersfield, California in 1960. And I enjoy Bakersfield. It's very similar to Ventura County. I grew up with my mom, a single working mother. She rose from the very bottom to the top, executive secretary for Union Oil, and she worked here in Santa Paula, Oxnard from 1974 to 1994. And I got to know all the Union Oil people. They were the ones that put up the first oil derricks offshore. It was wonderful. I also lived with my dad and stepmom. They were investment bankers for Crocker Citizens Bank, Wells Fargo later on, and they did investment banking for small businesses all through Central California. And I grew up here. All my weekends and summers were down here at the beach in San Luis Obispo, Avila, Pismo. I'm a homeboy, and I'm the only candidate who is from Oxnard. So I'm very, very excited about that. And you know, I left Bakersfield in 1978. I enlisted in the Air Force. I was a med tech, and I graduated #1 in my class. And my commander came to me and said, "How would you like to go to the United States Air Force Academy?" So I said, "Well, sure. That's one of the reasons I went into the United States Air Force." And lo and behold, I got a presidential nomination to go to the Air Force Academy. And I went there from 1980 to 84. Graduated with my bachelor's degree in international affairs, and I was part of the whole Reagan buildup in the Cold War, which we won. In fact, I was underground for 4 years in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Very cold. I was not used to the snow. And we won the Cold War right after that. And then I was given the opportunity to be an assistant professor of military art and science at the Air Force Academy, and to teach leadership and ethics, air power theory and doctrine, classical military science and art, and that was wonderful. And what was so interesting was interacting with all the cadets, some of which are 3-star generals now. And also one of my friends at the Air Force Academy, Heather Wilson, is now the Secretary of the Air Force. So it's a wonderful experience. After I taught at the Air Force Academy, we had the START program with the Soviets, and they were broken. So I changed career fields, and I went into budget because I was already working on my CPA, and I'd gotten my MBA. So I went into handling the federal budget for the Air Force, and I did that up at McCord Air Force Base. And the most important thing about that was during all the base realignment and closures, drawing down the military, we had an increased military responsibility. We supported all the C-141 airlift support operations to Rwanda, Somalia, Bosnia, Desert Storm, Sudan, and we did it with great distinction. My office was the best financial management office in the Air Force, and I got a meritorious service medal for that. And while I was up there, I actually got deployed to Desert Storm, and I was the chief of financial management for the Air Force in Central Command in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And that was when we were continuing to fight Saddam Hussein and to disarm him while he was committing genocide against the Kurds in the north and the Shia in the south. Something that continues today, as you can see with ISIS. After that, I was able to become the chief of financial management at the United States Air Force Academy. I did the president's budget for the academy directly through the Pentagon, and I'm the only candidate who has had any experience with that. I became very sick from Gulf War illness in the middle of my career. In fact, I was gassed while I was over there in Desert Storm. I didn't know about it. The military didn't tell me about it. The Pentagon didn't tell us about it. But I became very sick and had to retire early as a major. And I took a year off to try to get well. I did. And then I started my own certified public accountant business. And I was an income tax accountant for 20 years and an assistant professor of taxation and accounting. And I'm very proud of that. I was also a licensed investment advisor. So I feel very confident about my expertise for financial affairs. And I became sick again, yet with Gulf War illness, because it's in my bloodstream. And so the VA said, go home to family and friends. It was a very shocking experience. I did it, but you know, the good thing is, I'm back with family and friends, right here in Oxnard. And it's really a blessing in disguise. My son, Alex, my youngest, is my campaign manager. He helped me not only to get back on my feet, but he and I were actually part of the new legislation that came about just this last month for an extension of VA care for caregivers. That was just passed. And what's so fun about that is Alex was meeting with Elizabeth Dole and Bob Dole just in November. And after 8 years of constantly writing legislators, including Julia Brownlee, and being denied after all those attempts, we finally have a victory. And of course, I'm so proud of my son as well. And I just thank God for the opportunity now to serve Oxnard, Ventura County, and our district, CA 26. So, as you can see, it's been a long journey, but it's all prepared me for this time, this moment, and I'm ready to serve.
What was sort of your motivation to step up and run for congressperson?
Okay, well, I've been in public service for 40 years, 20 in the government and 20 as a CPA and licensed investment advisor. But when you go to the Air Force Academy and you graduate, it's all about duty, honor, country. It's about service before self. And that is ingrained in you. But it also came from my parents as well. And a long tradition in my family of serving in the War of Independence, serving on both sides of the Civil War, serving in World War I, serving in Korea, and then me in Desert Storm in the Cold War. So it was easy. But in particular, this whole issue with the VA, it's a $190 billion Leviathan, and our vets still can't get care. I tried to go to Julia Brownlee, and she brushed me off. Then I found out a lot of other people have been brushed off as well. Not only just in this district, but throughout the entire country. And I've been aligned with the Concerned Veterans of America and the Iraqi and Afghanistan veterans. And we all are on the same sheet of music. We need VA reform. And that means the extended choice program, not the VA. We can save the taxpayers money and we can provide better service. Faster, better, cheaper.
So it's pretty much a platform, one of the many platforms you would run.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Julia Brownlee serves on that committee. I'd love to replace her and actually get some things done. Our veterans deserve that, and I know a lot of them here in this community. I'm ready to serve them.
Now, do you have people who already endorse you? You spoke of your son. That's a good start in regards to that. But do you have other people on your campaign that are helping you out with getting a victory under your belt?
Oh, absolutely. We work together with a lot of the Republican Women's Federated groups, POV. We've got growing numbers of people supporting us right now. We're putting together events. In fact, we have 2 set up right now.
What dates are those?
Sure. The first one is March 16th at the Geisinger Winery in Fillmore from 6 to 9. Please come out to that. And the next one is going to be April 13th at the Poinsettia Pavilion. And we're going to be joined by Rhonda Kennedy Baldwin, who's going to be running against Jackie Irwin in District 44 for California Assembly. And needless to say, I go to all the Travis Allen for governor extravaganzas as well. And I'm very excited to endorse him myself. But it's very difficult to get endorsements from anybody right now because they have charters that say they will not give you an endorsement until after the primary.
Yeah, that's good to know. I did not realize that's
Yeah.
good education portion
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
You know, one question that's popping in my head, knowing Bakersfield, I got to ask, what high school did you go in Bakersfield? Because there are
Sure.
like 5 that you go to.
I went to West High.
Okay, I know where that is.
1978 West High Vikings.
There you go. For those people who moved from Bakersfield to this location,
Lots.
Jeffrey's your man here.
Oh, there are lots of Bakersfield people here. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, that's something.
Yeah.
Write that down. We have a segment of people
Yeah.
here from Bakersfield. Anyway, is there a way, I see it on your card, I don't know if you want to go ahead and,
Sure.
and just share the website where people can contact you, learn more about you?
Sure. My entire life is on my website that my son designed. That's www.jeffreyburumforcongress.com. Jeffrey Burum, B-U-R-U-M, 4 Congress.com. And I'm also on Facebook as well.
That's a good place to find you. So with that, that's a wrap. Thank you so much, Jeffrey.
Thank
Much
you.
success in your journey here.
I appreciate
We
it.
appreciate sharing your time with us here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Will do. This is Peter Godinez, KDYTV.com. Good morning, Oxnard. Until next time.